And, you never can tell when you're actually live. So we're live.
It's my favorite.
Hey, everybody. And you've done quite a few of these streams. So you've been through that a million times.
Oh, yeah.
So look who we got. Peter from Guppy Guru. I don't know what kind of I think that was supposed to be Australian.
Australian, yeah. South African.
That might have insulted T-Boney. He's in here, and he's a real Australian, so that might have insulted him.
That is one place we need to
go. So, Peter, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Today was actually I was supposed to work the shop today, and we had some health stuff happen this morning, so I couldn't make it down. But it was nice. Kind of took the day off, did some more wedding stuff, and took some time to do some water changes and stuff today. So.
You know what? I'm sorry. Let me check something real quick. Okay. Just want to make sure, because sometimes things happen. Let's talk about that right off the bat. Well, first of all, let me say what I know about you just from watching your streams. I've been in the fish community. I don't know about but I've been watching the fish community for about maybe 8 months or so now, and you were right up there. I don't remember what led me to your channel.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been through maybe the co-op or.
Yep.
Something like that. But somehow I landed on your channel, and I was like, oh yeah, this is good stuff. And I felt comfortable right off the bat. Loved going to it. So I know that you live in Utah, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know that you're going to be married in about 10 days now?
Yeah, we're next Saturday is like the last day we have here before we have to leave. So we're 2 weeks out.
Now, are you getting married there and then going, or are you getting married there?
In California. So Courtney's grandpa and grandma are older, and her grandpa can't travel over the mountains, can't travel out of sea level. So we're actually, our whole families, both sides are all going to him because he's such a big part of her life. And all my grandparents have passed away now. So they're my last grandparents too. So it was kind of one of those, we needed to make it right to go out there and have it with them. So it's only going to be 30 people now because of all the fun panorama stuff going on. So.
Panorama.
Yep. Yeah, well, Panera Bread.
I know you've been crazy busy, so I really do appreciate you coming on.
No, I appreciate you asking.
We had to do the Saturday one, and it was just awesome that you right away you said, yeah, sure, I'd love to do that. I'd be honored. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. But
I try my best to be on as many streams. If someone asks me, honestly, I'm going to try my best to be there. There's a few that are like, I'm busy, I can't make that date, blah, blah, blah. It always happens that way, unfortunately. But this one worked out great, and you were very flexible, and I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. Flexible was my nickname in college.
Mine was Laffy Taffy, so pretty close.
That's my running joke. See, when somebody says something that maybe a little risque or a little inappropriate, that was my nickname in college.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for a long time. Even Candy Overhauls likes that joke because she.
Oh, heck yeah.
She she said something about it one time. She said, I hadn't seen her for a while, and I went into a stream and I said it, and she goes, "Oh, Rick, I miss that so much."
Yeah, she's awesome. She is like incredibly on time to everything. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
Although she has scaled back what she does these days, which is good. You got to imagine she had to.
Yeah, I mean, like I've even had to. I mean, I haven't made a video, like an actual full production video, in I think like 4 months now.
Wow.
Just because of everything that's going on in life. So
yeah,
it's very weird when you don't film, because you're like, oh, I should film this, and then you're like, you just start doing it, and you forget that I have like 6 cameras. Like, I just need to get the camera out today.
Yeah.
So, but
let's talk about some of that stuff too. So you said there's a lot of life going on. We talked about you getting married. But you also are the part owner of a fish store.
Yep. Yeah, the Waterfront SLC. So one of my local fish stores. I was lucky enough to get the call, and they asked me if I wanted to buy out one of the other partners, and I did, and worked out great. And so Lewis and I are killing it. It's really fun to be in the shop and just like talk to the people, because that's what you don't like really get to see a whole lot of as your local fish community. And I feel like it's just so cool. Like you get someone that comes in like, I didn't know you guys were here. I absolutely love it. I'm never going anywhere else. Like, oh my gosh, you have a black wolffish in that tank. You've got wild Altums. You got like, it's just so cool. Like some of the stuff that Lewis has been able to locate, and just people come in and they just nerd out with us.
Yeah.
And because we're all fish people, I mean, Lewis is a huge Pleco fan. Stefan's got discus. One of our other employees, Riley, he's got a bunch of discus and breeding rams and all sorts of stuff. So we're all fish nerds. So you walk into our shop and it's just like we just all geek out with all the customers all day long, and it's just so much fun. It really is.
Where's that at exactly? Where is it?
So Salt Lake is kind of just a big valley.
Yeah.
So kind of if you think about it like LA, kind of just the metro area of LA. So
Yeah.
Murray is just like right off kind of the central point.
Okay.
Because downtown's a little bit more north, towards the north end of the city, kind of where the airport is. And then Murray is kind of like central of the valley. So
Murray, Utah.
Murray, Utah. Yep.
Murray. That's just a weird name. It's a
Yeah.
weird name for a town, Murray. It just looks like some old man. Hey, Murray. You know.
There's a lot of those. There's Panguitch. There's Santaquin. There's some weird Parowan. Trying to think of some other really strange Utah city names. There's a hilarious guy on YouTube who made like all the cities in Utah song parody, and it is drop dead the funniest thing ever. So good.
We'll have to see if we can find that. Myrtle's in here. I bet you if anybody can find it, he would.
Yeah, I'm sure he can. Yeah, that's awesome.
And I actually have family that lives. I can't remember where they're at. I think it's Park City.
Yeah, I grew up in Park City. So.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, Park City is just 30 minutes up the mountain. So.
Oh, they used to live here. It's actually my wife's family, but her aunt, uncle, cousins, they all. And I could be wrong. I know at one time it was Park City. I don't know if they've moved since, but they do live in that area.
Yeah, I mean, Park City's grown a lot even since I was like a little kid. So my parents, when they first got married, they met in Alaska. On a fishing camp. So they were up there doing all that to try to make as much money as they possibly could when they were still young and able to lift a 300-pound halibut. And then, so they moved down here to start the business that I'm running for my dad. And then they moved to Park City, and I grew up in Park City, and then parents split and I moved down here with my dad. So I've been all over. My mom still lives up there. My fiance's family lives up in Park City. So we still have a bunch of family up in Park City.
It's beautiful. Because when I think
gorgeous.
I really don't think of so many pine trees and things like that. It's sort of like when people think of New York State, they think of the city.
Right. They don't think of upstate. Yeah.
Yeah. This is beautiful where we live. It's the same there. With Utah, I sort of, because I didn't grow up, but I lived in Arizona for most of my life. And a lot of desert, right? But I still sort of think of that high desert type landscape. I don't think of the pine trees. And
the
stuff
Moab kind of southern Utah kind of status. Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah. Utah is an eclectic state. I mean, you can go all the way from freezing cold, 7 feet of snow, all the way down to 85 degrees during the day in 4 hours. It's it's awesome.
And that's the only place you've lived then? It's always been?
I lived in Vegas as well for a while. I worked for a tech company down there for 2 years, I believe. So I lived on the Vegas Strip, which I do not recommend to anybody. It was absolutely awful. And I wasn't 21, so I couldn't do anything.
Oh, wow.
So that was a pretty awful
That's
time.
Probably a saving grace at the same time, because if you were 21, who knows what you would have gotten into.
Yeah, it would have not been probably pretty. But and then I've lived in Washington with my dad and my mom's family. Both live up there, so I spent a lot of summers up there helping out up there. So so you got around. Yes, yeah.
You said you worked for a tech company. What type of tech stuff did you do?
Yeah, so when I was down there, it was a startup company that ended up not making it to the end of its life because there was actually a huge legal issue that came up in it. So there was this kind of like a Ponzi scheme that happened, and our lawyer for that company was one of them, and ended up messing us up real bad. But it was a really cool company. So it was called Crackpot Cube originally, and then it was Get Cubed later, and it was a social media platform development company that was designed off of a 3D cube that you could spin on your phone, and all of your social media would be encapsulated on this one piece of technology. So instead of using 25 apps, you would just use this one cube and click in and open up all your apps through there.
Oh, good.
And we were in talks with Microsoft was going to buy it, and a bunch of these other really big companies were looking at it, and first 3D cube technology on the phone. It was really awesome. You could sit there with your phone and just go, and then it would fly into someone else's phone. It was pretty fascinating stuff. So I was doing a lot of media production. So a lot of like advertising stuff, video production, that kind of, I learned how to do Photoshop and video editing while I was down there doing that. So that was really fun. I learned a lot of good content stuff. And then I moved back here to Salt Lake and started running my dad's company for him. So,
you know, it's amazing how many people in the fish fam are tech related. You know, I see Florida Fish Rescues in here. Mike does some web development stuff.
Yep.
Obviously Bentley Pasco, who we talked to, he
does some really cool stuff. Yeah.
I know, Chris, obviously a multi-tank addiction. He used to be a tech guy.
Yep.
Somebody else
Chris has fed me some really, really good chicken wings when I was at his house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like,
nice
I went to his house because my family lives like 20 minutes from him. They live because he lives in the Vancouver area, so my family lives really close to him. So I was like, hey, I'm in the area. He's like, come on my street. I'm like, okay, you got it. So I went over there and they made me dinner and stuff. It was awesome. It was great. Yeah. That was before all of his tanks exploded and stuff too. So I was able to see everything in its original state, which is really nice too, because it's just cool to be in other people's like fish rooms and see what they've got going on, because everybody's got such a different style. I've
never done it.
You never gone to someone else's fish room?
No, because I've only been keeping fish for about 8 months.
Oh yeah, that's true. You've been in the Panera Bread the whole time.
New. I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't have any friends that kept fish or anything.
Yeah, I mean, no one.
Stop that I didn't have any friends.
Yeah, but, no 12-year-old's going to have 50 fish tanks in their garage either. Yeah. So
I've never been, except virtually. I've never been to any. That's why I love watching the tours so much, because you, just like you said, you just see so many interesting things.
Yeah, you just like one little thing blows your mind. It's like, oh my gosh, like, that's so smart. Why didn't I think of that? And then you go and do it and you're like, this just made my life 10 times easier today. So
nice. Okay, so do you have any brothers or sisters or anything? You talked
I have
about
one older brother. Yeah, one older brother. And he
quite
lives like
or
3 years older than me. So old enough to beat me up still.
Yeah. So, I have an older brother as well.
Yeah. So just the one brother, and he's married, and they have a little cute little baby boy. He's 2 now. So my little nephew. I actually filmed a video with him a while back, and we did some unboxing of some little SpongeBob figurines, and I had a blast filming that with him. So he's a cute little kid. So, but that's pretty much it on my dad's side of the family. And then I've got 3 step siblings as well. I've got 2 step brothers and a stepsister.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Are you close? Or I don't know, maybe that's.
Yeah, no, they're really close to us. So we all practically, my mom and my stepdad dated for 15 years, I think, before they got married. So long time. So my stepdad's been around since I think I was 8 or 9. Really, and one of his kids is my age. One of his boys is my age. One of his other boys is my brother's age, and then his oldest daughter is like a year and a half older than all of us. So we're all we all grew up together. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Family.
Yeah.
What about Courtney? Does she have a pretty good sized family?
She's got a huge family.
Oh yeah.
So she's Latin, so she's got that big old Latin family.
Yeah.
So she's got 2 sisters, and then just cousins everywhere, and aunts and uncles, and it's just massive family. When we were going to have the big wedding, we were going to have like 250 people there, and I think I maxed out my whole family, all the friends I could think of, was like 75 people, and she had the rest. The 200 other people were all her family, and I'm like, you don't even have any friends coming, and you maxed out your numbers. Wow. So yeah, she's got a big family, which is awesome, because my family is just they all do their own thing. So it's kind of cool to see a different family perspective. And her family's very, very different than mine is, for sure.
And they're super close.
Very close. Yeah, very close. They have like weekly family dinners and game nights and all sorts of stuff. So
yeah, that's the same with us. I don't really, I've got a brother and a sister, but haven't talked to either one of them in probably 20 years. Mm-hmm. Parents are gone. But my wife has a huge family.
Yep.
Same thing. Funny thing is, we moved up here to New York, and most of them still lived here. And then just a few months after we moved up here, they all made plans to move elsewhere.
No.
what is it me that I took a shower? What's going on?
Yeah.
Everybody left. So there's only just a few left now, but there's still a good size. But it used to be just, just like you were talking about the dinners and stuff, and it was just always family stuff going on.
Yeah, I feel like this whole last 2 years has really changed a whole lot of like family dynamic stuff too. It's been interesting, that's for sure.
And this one, if you don't want to answer this one, I get it. Are you guys planning on kids?
Yes. Yeah. At some point in the future, we don't know if we're going to adopt or if we'll have our own. We'll probably do both.
Nice.
Just because Courtney has really bad migraines and stuff too. So I also get them very badly. So it's kind of one of those just health things. We don't know if having a kid will cause more problems with her health. And she doesn't want to put everything on me, which I completely respect a lot. But then there's also so many kids in this country that need our help and need a home to live in. So that's another thing that we've definitely talked about for sure.
Nice.
So.
We went that route as well, sort of. My oldest son, his best friend had a lot of problems at home. So when he was in junior high, we adopted him so that he could finish out high school and stuff. And he did. He got through high school, and then, that was it. But he was always family to us.
Yep.
We sort of did the same type of thing. And I drew a blank on what I was going to go with next. Something about Courtney, the family, the kids. Yeah, it's gone.
Okay. Well, it must not have been that important. So.
What about your? So you basically have 3 jobs right now, right?
Yeah. So YouTube I constitute as one when I was doing it full time. Then this garage I would constitute as a full time job too, because there's OFC and all that stuff that runs out of here.
Yeah.
And then I've got.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. If somebody in the chat there, one of the mods, could throw that up there too.
Yeah.
Make sure we've got Our Fish Collective. It's in the description, but and I'm sorry to interrupt you because
perfect. Yeah.
Our Fish Collective was the very first place I ever bought fish from.
Yeah. It was awesome. I remember getting your order popped up on my notification bar. I'm like, oh yes. Like every single order that comes through, I'm always so excited for it because it's not. I've only sold like maybe 4 orders in the last 5 months, like not a whole lot, but every other order I get so excited for because I'm like, this is food for someone's fish room. This is like them connecting with potentially a new customer for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
They can deal with themselves. Like we don't say you have to sell our stuff, like your stuff on our site and you can't sell anywhere else. You can sell wherever you want. If you want to make a personal connection with whoever you're selling the fish to, be my guest. Because that's awesome. Like that's really what we wanted to do was do that. And like when I saw your order come across, I was like, this is so cool. So yeah, I absolutely love it. It's been a blast to be able to like just share the hobby for sure.
I still have most of those guppies too. Yeah. It was my first tank that I sent when I got back into the hobby. And I had a heater that went haywire and cooked most of them. Now I have heater controllers on all the tanks because I do have to run heaters in here.
Yeah.
But I did keep quite a few of them, and now that tank is just absolutely filled with those. So I still have. I can't remember what strain it was. It was like a peacock guppy or something.
I think it was the pink peacocks or something. If I remember right. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. But anyways, okay. I'm sorry. So we went off. So you have the YouTube stuff. You have the fish store. And
the fish store. And then I sell medical equipment to eye doctors for a living as well on top of that. So I have an 8 to 5 job and then the rest of it. So
nice.
Yeah.
And you're sort of running that business then, you said.
Yeah, I run that fully for my dad. So my mom and my dad started back in, I think, 89. And then I came on board, I think, 7 years ago with him. And it just slowly built the company up with him. And then he decided to take kind of a step back the last 2 years. So I've taken over full reign from him. And so I'm running that, managing it, and doing all the bookkeeping, everything for that whole company. And it's a lot, but it's fun. So
yeah. And you think you're going to continue on with that? Is that something, is it become sort of your career?
It's definitely a way to help my family, live the way that we live for sure. But it's not something I want to do for the rest of my life.
Gotcha.
It's very, very, very stressful, very time consuming. But it's really fun still, because because there are some good people, but there's a lot of people that they just see me as a mover or a repair guy. They don't, it's very demeaning some days, which is very hard.
Gotcha.
But it's still a great job. I absolutely love doing it. And my dad built a company from $75 in a minivan up to what it is today. So, and then I came in and helped him grow it times 3 when I started. So we've definitely put some work into it. That's for sure.
And it definitely sounds like something to be proud of there.
Yeah, it is. And it definitely, we live well enough on it to where, all of our employees, I don't pay myself more than some of my employees. There's multiple employees who make more than me so that we can make sure that they get what they've earned. We buy some of our employees vehicles so that they can get around. We try our best. Everyone gets full health, awesome. All that stuff. So
see, that's amazing. And then so many more companies could, I get it. I get that not all companies can do that, but we hear about those companies like you, like the guy who took that huge pay cut and gave all of his employees massive pay raises.
Yep.
And they said he'd be gone in a year, and he's been doing it. That was 6 years ago. His sales are through the roof. His company his profits, and all the people love working there. And he's made the economy in his area grow because people are buying houses and things they couldn't afford.
They can afford it. Yeah.
That's
awesome. They can afford it. So we try our best. I mean, we're a small family business, so there's only 5 of us in the whole company. So pretty much it's like one of our employees has worked for us for, I think, 17 years now.
Wow.
So he's practically like my brother or my uncle or whatever you want to say. So, I mean, he makes more than me, and he well deserves it.
Gotcha.
But it's just one of those things, you pay with kindness and pay with love with your employees, and it pays out. So,
yeah. And, that sort of rolls into this, what you just said sort of rolls into what I want to say next. I'm going to embarrass you probably. I love that you get a little emotional in your videos sometimes, especially the live streams. Mm-hmm. when you got to 3,000 subs.
Yep. Yeah, that was a rough week. That was, thank you for what you did. I mean, you boosted me right over 3K like during that stream, and I really do appreciate it. But yeah, that was a rough week. I had my uncle pass away from cancer on that, I believe, that Monday, and then I had the stream on Sunday. So it was a hard week all week long, trying to work and do the fish store and all that stuff and stay as positive as I could, and wedding stuff and everything. And then you guys just pulled through and made that week. And I'm going to be who I am. And that's,
again, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And I cried because that was how I was feeling, my body couldn't. So
I love that part of it. And I'm not ashamed to cry in any way. And a lot of guys more your age are always taught they got to be, tough, manly man. There's nothing wrong with the showing emotions at all. And
I cry a lot.
once guys get to that stage where they can actually admit that they have emotions, their life, just their relationships and everything is so much better.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I cry in front of my friends. I'm a hugger. So if you ever do meet me, I'm probably going to end up hugging you. Yeah. Just the way I do things.
That's funny. Alex just said that last week too, that he was a big hugger too. That's
funny.
I mean,
it's the biggest connection you can have with people. Besides kissing them, of course. But I mean, some people you can't do that with. So, but no, I mean, a 5-second hug scientifically is proven to make you closer with people. That's just part of the nature of who we are as humans. So if you can hug someone for 5 seconds, that makes you closer to that person. So
yeah, and you might have just made that person's day. Maybe that was
correct.
The only hug they had in a month.
Yep.
And I just like the reality of it. That's what because that's my whole thing with YouTube is I really like the people who really it's real. You're not pushing something. You don't have this huge, and Joey, King of DIY. DIY, did I say it right this time?
Yeah, close.
I always do backwards.
Yeah.
DIY.
Do yourself it. Yep.
Yeah. He said that we all have a facade, and none of us are 100% real. And I disagree with him. I mean, the only thing different is I really don't swear as much, and I really try. And some people in the chat are going to disagree with me on this part, but I really try to keep my politics to myself.
Yep.
I try not to talk about politics, but sometimes that gets the better of me, as some of the people maybe remember from yesterday.
Yeah, as long as we can, I mean, there's always two different sides to everything, whether it be politics, religion, whatever it be. And if we can sit there and listen to our fellow neighbors and our fellow fish keepers or whatever community you're in, the world's just going to be a better place at the end of the day.
It is.
So even if you don't agree with them, just you can listen and say, okay, great, I appreciate your opinion, and walk away from the situation. You don't have to, I mean, anger doesn't solve anything. It really doesn't. So, and
sincerity.
Yeah.
And sincerity is the biggest part. No matter what you're doing, just being sincere in it, and being real is huge. So
yeah, I try my best. Sometimes I fail at it, but
sure.
I couldn't honestly be making videos the last 4 months. So I just said, like my memberships, I didn't want to have memberships. I didn't want to make people have to pay for something they weren't getting. And so I pulled it. I got a lot of messages saying, hey, we would have supported you through this time. And I just said, it's not something that I honestly would feel comfortable doing, because you're not getting anything from that. And so I didn't want to charge people for something that wasn't giving them any result, to say the least. But
keeping up your side of the bargain, I guess.
I want to be as honest as I can with everybody, especially because we're putting ourselves out there every day. This is our passions, these are our hobbies, these are this is what I come home to do after a really stressful week, and sit here and watch the fish eat the algae, or feed whatever, and have a blast doing it. And we put that out there for people to see, what we love. And sometimes that's hard to do. So, yeah,
it's hard to not show that, to show your true face, to the outside world, to people you don't even know. But, well, you do a good job at it. And I was one of those people that said, oh, no, go ahead and leave the membership up. I get it. You got to take some time. But
no, you weren't the only one. I think I had like 15 or 16 members at that time. And I think I got like 12 messages saying that. So, but all of my answers to everyone was just the same thing. It's like, I can't charge you for something you're not getting anything out of. And when I'm working on potentially bringing it back, once I get back from the honeymoon, because then life will kind of hopefully be one less thing on the plate. And then I can start making videos and all that content again. So hopefully that'll be coming back again.
And I look forward to it. I forgot. There's normally something I do when we start up the stream. Is everybody that's here, and most people, I'm sort of watching the chat a little bit, and I've seen all the usual suspects. But if you're new here, we don't really look at the chat the whole first part of the thing. It's just going to be Peter and I talking. The second half of the chat, second half of the talk, we'll look at the chat and take questions and stuff for Peter then. So if people are saying hi and I'm not responding, or you're asking questions, that's why. I'm not ignoring you, but we just don't even look at it first. But we will get there, I promise.
Yeah, I'm watching it. It's sitting right here, and I know that's how you run the show. So, and since you're running the show, I'm letting you do it.
I can't help it though. It's off here to my side too, and I do see some stuff going on. So we'll get into that as we go. So what exactly is going to be the honeymoon? I know parts of it you were talking about. I mean, well, we know what some of it's going to be.
Yeah. I had a hilarious lady at the grocery store. We were getting like stuff for, I don't know how she figured out we were getting married, but she did. Maybe there was like a thing on the register or something that said it. And she like said this hilarious joke about like a honeymoon salad. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, honeymoon salad. And I'm like, what is that? And she goes, it's lettuce alone and no dressing. I was like, oh my gosh. It was like the best thing. And she's like 85 years old, behind the plexiglass. And I'm like, this is the world we live in now.
An older person who
it was so good. It was so good. And I live in Utah, so that she was probably a Mormon grandma. And that was just the highlight of her week probably too. Oh, I was dying. It was the best.
I'll have to remember
But
that.
we're going to Costa Rica for 2 weeks. So we're going to be doing a jungle resort for the first week and then a beach resort for the second. And the beach resort on the second week, we're staying in like a turtle rescue facility. So we're going to be playing with some sea turtles and helping them do like rehab and stuff. So we're going to volunteer like a whole, like I think 2 days there to that. So it's just going to be a really good, relaxing trip. I'm not even going to turn my phone on. It's going to be great.
Yeah. It's going to be so hard to come back.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is. But
that sounds like something you could easily spend a month and not get bored.
Oh yeah.
You know, that sounds amazing. I've never been farther south than Mexico. And,
I've been to Mexico a lot, but never anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, hopefully you pick up your phone a little bit and just take some pictures of the turtles and stuff.
I'll take the drone and I'll probably take the nice camera and stuff too, just to take some good pictures, and then I can post them up later. But I'm not planning on doing any like extravagant filming montage or anything while we're there. Gotcha. So it's just going to be pretty much just me and her having a great honeymoon.
Yeah, and making memories.
Yeah, I've never had 2 weeks off in my entire life.
Wow.
So like, I think the last time I had 2 weeks off, I was like 10 years old. So yeah, I've worked since I was a kid. I've always worked. I was always that kid who, would leave junior high and they're like, "Oh, come hang out with us." I'm like, "Sorry, I got to go to work." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got to go to work." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I work." And they're like, No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm like, "Yes, I do." So I'd go to work, I'd do my job, and then I'd go home and do my homework and go right to school the next day and do it over again. So
man, I am far too lazy for that.
Yeah, I am now.
I did have my first job when I was 15, but it was a different time too back then. So
yeah, I probably wasn't allowed to, but yeah.
What kind of stuff did you do at that age? Was it stuff with the family?
It was some family stuff, but then I would mow people's lawns. I'd shovel driveways. I'd pull weeds. I'd do whatever really I could possibly do because I was always a very frugal kid. So anything I really wanted in my life, I paid for myself. And still to this day, that's how I do things. So I think it's kind of one of those things that my dad definitely did a great job with teaching us that money is worked for, not earned. And I work my butt off for what I have, that is for sure. But that's definitely something he instilled in us. I mean, when we were kids, so my parents came from practically nothing really. My dad was a military kid. My mom lived in a very small town. My grandma worked in a factory making Oreos for a really long time. She made some fishing lures too for a while. She had the metal press and she'd make fishing lures, which I have somewhere in the garage here. Which is really cool because when she passed away, I was able to get those. But yeah, so like my family is just very, small town, humble kind of people. And that was passed down to us. But then when we were kids, my dad made really good money when we were kids, very good money before they got divorced. And then the divorce, my parents happened. And then that all changed again. My dad started living in hotel rooms. And then mom was on her own too. So she was doing her own thing. And so we kind of went back down to where we were originally, which was good because it grounded us again. Because, we were living high on the hog for a while.
Yep.
Yeah. And especially in Park City. I remember one time I was asking this kid if he wanted to come over and play. And I think we were like 5 years old. It was like kindergarten, pre-K something. And he's like, "Well, how big's your house?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm 5 years old. How am I supposed to? He's got 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. And he's like, "Well," he's like, "That's not big enough. My house is bigger than yours, so I can't play with you." I was like,
that's weird.
I was like, "What?" So
he had to learn that at home. That's not something, that's not something
yeah.
He's going to come up with on his own. That's that you were talking about instilling values. That's what was instilled in him.
For sure. So I'm glad that we moved down here to Salt Lake again. And, we lived in kind of the rough neighborhood for a long time. We got bused 30 minutes to school every single day, 30-minute walk to the bus stop, 30 minutes to the school. So it was, we grew up like we were like any other kid would. So it was everything that we have, we work our butts off for. That is for sure.
I guess, it's a what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's good and bad, because the bad part is maybe it made you grow up quicker than you might have. but at the same time, it did instill those values in you and made you the hard worker that you are today. So, you know, a little bit of both, I think. You know, it's unfortunate when kids don't get a chance to just be kids. I think it's good for them to be kids. You know, I've got 3 of my own, and I'm happy that they did get to be kids.
Yeah,
now I just wish
that
they
is definitely something. That's definitely something I wish I would have had more of, is the kid experience. Because I did work forever. I was always working, but I had multiple times that I, you know, are life-changing moments, going to Alaska fishing with my dad and going to summer camps, you know, with Young Life and that kind of stuff. So there's been a lot of really good moments too. So
nice.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears a little bit.
All right.
I can't help but notice that you're wearing a Seahawks shirt.
Yes, I am.
Are you a big Seahawks fan?
Yep, I am. Yeah. So since my family's all from Washington State, my grandma and grandpa doused, huge Seahawks fans, you know, huge Cougar fans, you know, it was, since I spent a lot of time with them, they kind of instilled that on me. My dad's a huge Rams fan. And my brother is, and I'm the only one who's a Seahawks fan, which is kind of weird. So it's just practically me left in the family as far as Seahawks fan goes. So it's just I just kind of do my own thing and like my own team. And so, and I've met like Sean Alexander. I've gone to a Monday Night Football game. I definitely enjoy that team a lot, for sure.
A Monday night at the stadium there.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a Bills Seahawks game on the Monday night. So
I've seen the Bills quite often because I'm not too far from Buffalo. But
yeah, my stepdad's a huge Bills fan. So he was like, "We're going to this game. Are you coming?" I'm like, "Heck yes, I am. Can't make me not go." So
but you're for different teams. It's gotta be rough to be a Bills fan. It really does.
Yeah.
You know, just like Vikings fans. I mean, or Detroit. I mean, you know, because Detroit's never done anything. At least the Vikings have been to the Super Bowl. Same with the Bills.
I mean, the Browns. I mean, you want to really get down there.
Well, Browns have been there too, though. I mean, if you get old enough, you know, you can reach back into history. Like, I'm a Bears fan, so you know, at least they've been there a couple of times. You know? And you know, I actually remember when the Bears played at Wrigley Field in Chicago. So that's how old I am. All right, so we're about a half an hour in, so we might as well open up stuff from the chat. And actually, I'm just gonna scroll back up a little bit because I see
some good questions.
Well, this one wasn't a question. Come on, kids! I know some of you have more than one account. Let's get the big 400 for Rico Stan. And spectacle of him shaving his head. I want to say there's some false advertising going on here.
There's a lot of recanting on that too in the chat.
And I see another one where I'm going to shave my legs. Now I might shave my legs. I might do that on chat or on a live stream, but not
to do the nose wax. I did that the other day. My God, you want to talk about a guy who cries?
Yeah. I never thought about it. Scissors is enough for me.
Courtney was dying laughing. She was having a blast. So you just heat up the wax. You put the little sticks in your nose, and then she was pulling it, and it got stuck, and so she had to pull like twice. Absolutely awful, absolutely awful. But I'll definitely do it again because it was great.
Scissors are good enough. Yeah. I can't even imagine doing it. Shave your head, join the club. You know what, Skipper? I actually did shave my head because I had really long hair. I had like waist length hair, and when I retired, and I shaved my beard, shaved my head all at one time. So I did do it once, but yeah, you guys, you got to get me, you know, maybe to 1,000, and we'll start talking about shaving.
Heck yeah.
All right,
1K, shave it all.
we got any questions for Peter here? Let me look back. Actually, I told him not to ask any, so there probably isn't any.
Yeah.
Jeez. A lot of stuff about
a lot of shaving your back and your legs, and ooh.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Well, like I said, I might shave a leg.
Yeah, just wax a leg. You'll be perfectly fine.
I've never done any waxing. Maybe that's something maybe you're onto something. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, just the one wax strip and just make a perfect square.
Stephen P 2003, who, you know, you guys, he says he only has 70 subs. Big M, if you can put his link in there, Steven, he has some great content. I'm really surprised he only has 70 subs, to be honest. He hangs out quite often in Bentley's stream. I see him there. I also see him on the co-op forum quite a bit. Knowledgeable guy. He's got a ton of great content. Looks like he's starting to make more too, but definitely go take a look at Steven's stuff there too.
Yeah, once YouTube picks you up, it goes from there. It just has to hit that right moment when they want your algorithm and your content, and then it works.
You blow up. The next thing you know, it's at 3,000.
I still don't know how it happened. Every day I'm like, it's gone up even more. I'm like, how? How?
Skipper wants to know how many tanks you have up and running right now.
Oh. I always have to count because I'm in this right now I'm in the state of I want to make sure that everything I have is perfectly healthy and doing really well. So I'm in this state of trying to break down some and make it, work better. And then having the shop, I'm taking some stuff down there in order to make sure that we've got good stock in store and enough tanks and everything. Yeah. But I think I'm at, 4, 16, 17, 23, 25. I think I'm at 30 total.
Nice.
And then the pond, so 31, 32, somewhere around in there.
And do you have the pond up and running right now? Are you doing up with it? Okay.
Yeah, it's up and running. It was up all winter. I had 2 koi and 2 ranchus in there all winter, and they did great. So
nice. Yeah. So you guys didn't get too cold. You got some snow and stuff, but
we got cold. But I tried a couple different things this year. People always cover it and air and heater and whatever. So I had the internal pond pump in there. I think it's just a Tetra one that you get the filter media and all that stuff in it, and then just a little fountain and a light. And then I put just a 4x8 sheet of the double poly greenhouse plates over the top, and I had the 2 sides were open and it never froze once. But then I have my stock tubs, my 100-gallon stock tubs that I had the same thing over, and they froze solid. So I don't know if it was just because it wasn't completely covered or what, but they did great.
I have to think about that. I really want to do some tubs this year, but we don't have a very long grow period at all outside. So
I think we're kind of on that same bar there. You guys get way more humidity than us, though. That is for sure.
Yeah, we definitely.
Yeah, we go from hot to winter, right back to hot again. There's this no in between. It was snowing yesterday. It's 65 today. I'm sweating in here now because this garage is always at 80 something. So, but never any humidity. I mean, my garage is probably the most humid place in the state right now. So.
Yeah, well, I'm right on the lake. I mean, it's right there. So, yeah, we definitely, it's definitely very humid here. Okay, let's see if we've got some other in here. Okay, we got the link.
RB's asking what my favorite fish is. That's always a good one. My favorite aquarium fish is the purple Dumbo mosaic guppy. Drop dead, my absolute favorite fish. If I could only have one type of fish, that would be what it is, even because it's just a 10-gallon. And if I could only have one tank, that's what it would be full of. But my favorite fish overall is the king salmon. I mean, I've caught hundreds of them. I absolutely love them. Beautiful, absolutely drop-dead gorgeous fish, and just beasts.
And delicious.
And delicious, yeah. But my favorite is the purple Dumbo mosaic guppy for sure.
Nice. See, you didn't have to think about it. It was just, you already knew. You knew exactly.
Yeah, it was the first, when I first started kind of doing the hobby, I got the auto sinkless, I got the mollies, the platies, the bristle nose, the common pleco, because no one knows, no one tells you anything about common plecos. Even if you do research, you still think, they read it Trinidad. And you're like, okay, maybe that's not a common pleco, and they just sell it to you anyway. And what size is your tank? None of that. So I had that, and then I was like, I was going to my local fish store and they had the purple Dumbos, and I was like, these are the coolest things I've ever seen. So I bought like 4 males, and 3 males, and it was Larry, Moe, and Curly, and I had them for like a year and a half. They lived for a long time. I've got some of their offspring still cruising around in here. So absolutely, like my first guppies, my first dive into that world, and changed my life forever. So
I think I'll always have guppies, but I'm already moving away from them. I mean, I had them when I was a kid, and that's why I picked them up again, when I started up the tank and stuff. But I really am moving away. I think I'm going to just keep one strain. Right now I've got 4 guppy tanks, and I've only got 9 tanks total. So
yep. Yeah, I mean, when you have, I mean, these are all guppies behind me except for that guy right there. But I mean, when you've got limited amount of space and for tanks, it's just better to do what you enjoy at that time. I mean, you can always come back to something. That's the nice part.
Yeah.
So,
and I have 2 adult children that still live at home, and when they move out, and I have space downstairs, a massive space to actually build a fish room. So
nice.
that is my goal for the future. If you see some questions in the chat, go ahead. Don't feel,
okay. Yeah.
Don't feel, if you catch them before me, go right ahead. Like there's one there from Jay Oliver. Jay Oliver's got a ton of stuff going on right now too.
He's got some cool stuff coming with his new fish room or fish building, I guess. I'm excited to see what he does. He's got some, it's actually pretty cool because like when I got my big import, he reached out to me and kind of gave me some tips too, which is really cool because like I'm always open to have anybody reach out to me for anything because I don't know it all. I'm never going to know it all. And no one's ever going to know it all unless they literally write the book, which even when people write the book, they still can learn something. Yeah. So it's like if someone reaches out and is like, hey, I've got a tip for you. I'm like, oh, I'll take that for sure. Like, that's awesome. It's humbling that you're willing to send me information and say like, hey, I want to help you out here if I can. So good guy. Definitely. Jay Oliver is a good guy for sure.
He wants to know if you're doing anything special with your green water tanks.
I'm trying to get rid of the green water tanks. That one up there, I've gotten it closer to being clear again. This one this week just bloomed into green water. So we'll see on that one. I may get some scuds. I'm not really sure yet. So it's kind of one of those, we'll see, but it's just happening. I just have good lights on all these tanks. I've got a planted and one of the LED lights on every single row. So I've got like double lighting. And I think I need to dial it down a little bit. Yeah. So
I want to jump into scuds myself. I've got those Monty Rainbows in the 55 there. That's really the only thing I have that'll eat them. Well, the pea puffers eat them too, because I did have
Guppies will munch at them.
Oh, will they?
Yeah. No, I've seen them tear them apart. It's awesome to watch.
I think I want to do it. I've got the brine shrimp hatchery there. I don't know if you can see it, but and I do that a couple times a week. But I think I want to dive into scuds. Yeah. And Stephen had a good question here for you, and I think he's already gotten some responses. But why can't I keep the fancy guppies from my LFS alive for more than a few weeks? I have a tank with hundreds of muck guppies, but those fancy ones elude me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different things there. Usually, when you're getting fancy guppies from a local fish store, hopefully they're coming from local breeders. I mean, that's what you hope your local fish store is doing, is getting stuff from local breeders. But most of the time they're getting that one-off, like, X wholesaler has 3 trios and they're just sending them, and they got them because they were free from an order from Israel or something, and they don't really care too much about them. So there's really not a whole lot of care taken with the shipment of guppies, because they're kind of a lost leader in the wholesale world, if that makes sense. Like looking at lists as a store owner and seeing like how much some of the fish cost, it's awful. Like, I mean, feeder fish are like not even a cent. Like you can get 100 for like 20 cents. It's just, it just doesn't make sense. Like the value they put on some fish is just awful. And they do that with guppies. We have never bought a guppy from a wholesaler and shop. It's all local, or it's coming out of my fish room. That's the only way it happens. But most fish stores will order them from the wholesalers, and they just don't come in great. But the biggest thing is that they keep them in like 80-degree, 84-degree water when they raise them overseas. So they're really hot. And then they come into our water and we think 73 to 75, 78. And that's just too cold for them. So their immune system crashes and then they get sick and then they die. So that tends to be the easiest answer there, is that the temperature is just a lot less than they're used to.
See, that's great. That's awesome insider information a little bit there too. So I love that.
It's kind of awesome, and it's awful kind of having the fish store side too, because it's like, it's just not like, I hate getting boxes of fish from wholesalers and it's like, oh my gosh, there's 3 more dead fish or whatever. It's just one of those like sad parts of the store hobby. But honestly, I think the wholesalers we get all of our stuff from, I think, are by far the best that you can possibly get. And Lewis has done an incredible job doing that, where like he's ordered from, I think it was like 120 different wholesalers, and we've knocked it. Like, if someone does a bad job or doesn't do right, we just knock them off the list, never order from them again. And that's just the way that fish stores should be doing it, but they don't. They kind of just keep ordering from the same people over and over and over and over and over again. And it never like extends the quality of the hobby, because they're just getting bad after bad after bad. And it just doesn't help anybody really.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I wanted to say hi to Susan. She came in. Susan from SLC.
Oh yeah, love Susan. I was actually chatting with her about going on with her as well. So
nice. That'll be a good one. I'm looking forward to that one. And I also saw Lav. She came in and said hi to both of us.
Lav is the best.
And she's going to be on in 2 weeks, I believe. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, Lav is honestly the best snail keeper, I think, in the entire world. Like, anybody can do it better than her, send them my way, because I will teach them differently. She's awesome. And
I have to agree with you, because I bought snails from Lav twice now and been incredibly happy with them. And again, I've done unboxings. I think you actually shared out my unboxing.
Yeah, the last unboxing you did of hers, it's just like, like we ask for like this bar, right? There's just make sure your stuff arrives alive on OFC. And then she's like, yeah, that bar is not high enough for me. And she's like, it's got to match. It's got to be this. She's just the best. She loves it. She loves it.
I feel like when I open it up, it's going to be like confetti coming out and music playing, and just
like those cards you open and all the like confetti explodes. No, she loves it. She is an incredible person, and we just appreciate having her on our team, because we couldn't do it without her. She's awesome.
I'm really looking forward to that one too. Again, all these interviews have been awesome. You're 17th, I think.
Yeah,
you're
17.
So Lav will be, I think, 19th. Yeah, because Carrie, Science Gal, will be my 20th.
Oh, awesome! She's a cool one too.
Hey,
you got a lot of awesome people to come on, which is
amazing.
Great.
And again, I have a tiny channel. So for people, 3,000. Bentley, I don't know what he even has.
I think he's in the 50 range or 60, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Alex, he's like 20,000. I mean, just Rachel Leary and Ben Ochard. All these people are just so open to coming and let me interview them. It's just amazing to me. I see my buddy Chattanooga Ed. Speaking of doing
love
stream.
Ed, one of Ed's friends lives local, and he comes into the shop every once in a while. Yeah. And they always banter back and forth about Ed, and it's great. It's great. Yeah.
Ed told me about that. He was actually, we were in a stream or something, and the guy had just texted him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is the guy that supplies you guys or something." I don't know what he does. He does something.
He does some. I think he drops off some stuff every once in a while to the shop. Literally, if someone walks in with something into our shop, we buy it no matter what, unless it's just awful. But we'd rather buy local than anything else, because even if I'm buying something local and it's not healthy, I can still treat it easier. It's just the way to do it. I think we've definitely, as LFSs have gone away from buying from fellow hobbyists because they feel like it's hurting their market, and that's not the case in any way, shape, or form.
Plus, that's just that goodwill that you're creating.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you're going to be part of a community and a hobby, be part of a community and a hobby. Yeah, and we've got some fish stores here in the other area that are incredible as well. They don't do that though; they just refuse. And so I think that's definitely the standout for our shop is that we definitely actually support the hobby. Misfits asking a question here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
When you see the other prices of those other shops, how much are they? And how much they are there. Oh, and you feel just a smidge better. Yeah, it's assassin snails, really good example here. We had a customer come in yesterday. I was in the shop for a bit, and he's like, how much are your assassin snails? I'm like, $1.99. He's like, I just paid $7 at the shop down the street for assassin snails. And I'm like, yeah, they don't cost us $7 to buy. So why are we going to charge you $7 for an assassin snail? So it's just like, there's just no need for a lot of the things in the hobby. And I think that's kind of the difference, hopefully, that we're making in our little neck of the woods right now. So
yeah, you can still make a profit without having to.
Yeah. I mean, and we're going to have lifetime customers, people that actually come in and enjoy to come into our shop. And it's just the way to do it. It's just the way to be a person and be a part. So.
Let's see. Let's see. There's Peter Gill. Hey, Peter. Hey, Fish Room Fever.
Yeah.
Oh, you know the drill. Yep. Don't get to see James too often. He's a busy guy, so it's always nice.
James is super busy. His new shop that he's built online is awesome. Awesome.
Nice. Gets in, comes in, and I'm really jealous. I said this on another stream today, but so it's Robert from Tennessee Aqua. Bob Kaler, James, Fish Room Fever, and Chattanooga Ed all hanging out together in Atlanta, going to fish stores and doing all kinds of super stuff. And that's just, I'm so jealous. I would love to be there. Susan's asking when the wedding was. She came in a little bit late.
Yeah, so it's 2 weeks from now. We get married on the 1st, May 1st.
Bob would like to know if you're comfortable.
Am I comfortable? I'm sweating.
I don't know if he's talking to you. Or
I'm sweating like a banshee in here right now.
Yeah.
I'm all red in the cheeks. Yeah.
It's 75 in here. It's not too bad, but that's actually warm for here. Usually it's in the 60s.
86 right now in here. It's hot. It's hot. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's yeah.
But when I turn on the AC, you can hear it, and it doesn't do good for audio. So I try not to.
Oh, well, I don't want to kill you or anything.
Oh, no. It actually feels good, like when it's been like in the 30s here last week. So like sitting in this warm weather, and it's like, nice.
We had a 60-degree day, and I went outside and actually got just a little bit sunburned. I was just sitting out there reading in the backyard and watching the waves and stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah, I get sunburnt in the shade, so I try to avoid the sun as much as I possibly can.
I did construction work in Arizona for a while, and I was always, I guess you would call me a sun worshiper. I love being outside in the sun. And nowadays, though, I'd get totally sunburned, and then like 2 hours later, it was just gone. It would just be brown. That was it.
Yeah, I'd turn into a lobster for like 8 days. So I try to avoid it.
Costa Rica, man.
I got the sun shirts. I got a whole suitcase full of sunscreen.
Ricky, RV Animals and Collectibles, wants to know if you have a favorite movie.
Favorite movie? Have is up there for sure. Actually, I think Goonies is my favorite movie. Actually,
yeah, that's a good one.
My favorite. Actually, I have this really cool gift. Let me grab it. This is what Courtney got me for my birthday, I think 2 years ago, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, let's there we go. Oh wow!
Like a super cool local artist.
Art. Oh, okay, because it looks familiar. The type of art.
Yeah, it's this local guy that she absolutely loves, and he did this one of the Goonies, and so she bought it for me, and I love it. So I've got it sitting right here above the stream desk.
My daughter would love that too. She's a huge Goonies fan.
Oh yeah, and my next tattoo is going to be a Goonies tattoo.
Nice.
Got it all planned out right now because my uncle, the one who just passed away, was a big influence on some of my childhood stuff, and big pirate fan. We had a lot of pirate things that we did when we were kids, and I would always dress up as a pirate, and he made me a little pirate fort and all this stuff in his backyard. So this arm is going to be a Goonies tribute tattoo. So
nice. That's cool. Those type of ones are just, the best. I mean, tattoo. I like tattoos. I have a few, but my favorite probably is actually John Lennon. Can't hardly see him. I can't really twist my arm. But the reason he's my favorite is because my daughter got Paul McCartney, and I got John Lennon. She gave it to me. She bought it for my birthday.
That's really cool.
It was, not for my birthday, for Father's Day. So
that's even better. Yeah.
The
meaning. Yeah. Meaning is always good. Like, I actually have a tattoo up here that I haven't showed anybody in the community. But I actually have Guppy's tattooed on me. So
are you going to show us?
Yeah, I can show you guys. So I've got a whole arm of Guppies now.
Look at that.
So each one of the Guppies is a different color for a different family member that I've lost. So this is my uncle who passed away from cancer 2 years ago. And then my grandma, my other grandma, and then my grandpa and my other grandpa. So
nice.
But yeah, the Guppies are the different colors for them. But now I'm a, you can't say I don't love Guppies because I got them on me for the rest of my life. So
yeah, definitely. Now, this doesn't mean anything, but I thought about getting a duckweed.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Just so that it looked like it was green. So it looked like you had dipped your hand into a tank with duckweed.
That would be so funny.
The only people who would know what it was other fish keepers.
Oh, yeah. If you did like a really funny line, like a duckweed line, because where your hand goes in.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Maybe a little water lettuce or something on there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Actually, we're an hour in. Are you pressed for time? Do you want to keep going?
I'm good as long as you want to be on here.
Okay.
So
hey, Ed or James or Robert, any of you guys, are you guys going to do a stream at 8 o'clock? Normally they go 8.
Yeah.
Oh no,
yeah.
Is it 8 or is it 9?
I try not to step on the toes too. I mean, that's that's one of those things. As a community, it's always best to be respectful of that for sure.
Yeah, try my best. Unfortunately, and I say this quite often. Susan's in here. Our Tuesday nights go to each other, so I always try to go back and catch the replay. And I hate that, but I couldn't find a spot at all. So
yeah, the spots have been hard. I was really lucky to get mine on Sunday morning. I mean, it's early. I mean, I wake up and practically roll out of bed, grab a cup of coffee, and run in here. But I was lucky because I got that one from Fishtubers. So
that's a fun one too. I like that one. I like that Sunday one. I'm just trying to scroll through here. There's a Mirik saying hi.
And then Peter Gill's another our Fish Collective seller, and he's got some really cool stuff on there too.
Oh, I didn't know he was doing stuff there. Is it? Yeah. What's his name on there?
I think it's under Gill's Fish, if I remember correctly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so he's got some cool stuff. And then right now we're kind of like in this weird limbo stage with the site because we actually have another Fish fam member who's local to me. Who's actually we're paying to rebuild the whole site. So the whole back end is going to be completely different for the sellers because right now I'm individually and Ian's individually adding each individual item on there, watermarks, descriptions, all of it. And it just takes forever to do.
Yeah.
So we want to give everyone kind of that easier option to go in and do their own pictures and all that. So they're actually coding this whole brand new back end site for us, and it's going to be really awesome.
Nice. We'll have to look at that. And Peter's also another one who is on the co-op forum quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, are you still involved with the co-op? And I mean, I don't know how involved we're before.
Yeah, I was a brand ambassador for them. Okay. Corey emailed me and asked me if I wanted to be a brand ambassador. So I think I was an ambassador for them for like 3 months, if I remember correctly. It was a good amount of time. Awesome, great experience. Loved the whole team that he had set up. Really good members of the community. But then when I bought into the store, I just thought, as part of just the respect for just business and who people are, I emailed them and said, hey, I bought into a store. There may be some competition, at some point in the future. And I don't want to have there be bad blood between the two of us if that's the case. And so I'm just going to retract myself from that. And I hope you understand. And he sent back like this really nice video and, said like, thank you so much for letting us know. And it means a lot to say, show that you guys are actually honestly saying we're not trying to be in this just to screw you over is pretty much what he was saying. Yeah. So, but it was awesome to be a member. I still have a lot of the stuff that I bought from the co-op during that time because I got a discount from them. So I've got like 2 brine shrimp hatcheries right here. I've got 3 of the brine shrimp eggs. I'm like, there's a lot of that stuff is just awesome. He just got some good stuff. So no problem with still saying they're great. But I just, being a store owner, I just didn't want to compete with him, and then also have to say like my stuff's better. You know what I mean? As a business owner. So I was just like, it's just not the right way to do it.
Sure.
And just be true and honest to who I am. So
above reproach.
Exactly.
Yep. I just put an order in with the co-op. Actually, I'm getting some more fertilizer and root tabs because I've got some plants now.
Yeah, I've got all that right here. I've got like a little underneath I've got a little table right here with like a pen and paper, because every time I stream, someone always says something and I'm like, oh, that's great. And I write it down because I'm like, I'm going to forget it if I don't.
Yeah.
Underneath there, I've got 2 carts with all my meds and all that stuff. So I've got like salt medications in one, and then my other one's just all fertilizers. And it's practically all co-op stuff, except for I've got the Seachem fluorite tabs and that kind of stuff. Because I like their tab, the gray one that's kind of the octagon shape. I like that more than the root tabs. I don't know why, but I've always had more success with it. And then I've had people who have said, the pill type one that co-op sells, and you can make your own, whatever. They have the potential of coming out of the dirt and then causing problems, where the Seachem doesn't. So I just, for safety, I just would rather.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All I've ever used is the root tab. So I do want to try some other ones just to see, if there's some other ones that work good for me. But so far, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. They're definitely a good product. It's just I have a personal fear that something will happen, and I never want anything to happen. So
gotcha. Let's see. It jumped on me here. Man, excuse me. Nope, I went back. Are you seeing anything there? If you see one, again, don't hesitate. Something you want to touch on, or?
Yeah, Steven also said the Seachem tabs sink. So that's another nice part, is that they just stay at the bottom. So.
Gotcha.
And then Lav uses Dustin's fish tank, the grow juice there.
Now, and the tabs, are they a solid thing then? Let me
see if I've got them right here.
I'm just curious. I'll have to look into that. I've heard, I haven't bought anything from Dustin yet. Another person who I haven't bought anything from is Diego. I've always wanted to. Diego has great prices.
Yeah, Betsotics.
Now he's just a multiple
tank. Yeah, he keeps changing his name. So.
Yeah, multiple aquariums.
So that's the Flourish tab.
Okay.
So it's like a little block, and then it just goes into the ground, but it's heavy and sinks, and you can get them like 40 packs or 10 packs, I believe. There's 2.
So it just turns into very fine granules as it.
Yep.
So it's not going to open.
Yeah, it doesn't explode into the water column, and I think that's why I personally have not used the root tab ones, just because I'm afraid of that.
Gotcha.
So. Yeah, and Peter Gill says I prefer them except for the price. The price is definitely higher. That is for sure.
Oh, is it?
I think it's like probably double the price, but it's kind of one of those. I think I only use them every 4 months when I put them back in, and I've never had any like real problem with that on my plants. So.
Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still learning what works best for me. We've got incredibly hard water. I just. I'm just trying to work through all the different stuff. It'll probably take me another 2 or 3 years before I'm even comfortable with what stuff I like to use,
Yeah, no, it's always changing and evolving. I mean, I've got literally stuff and I'm like, I thought this was the best thing since sliced bread. Now it's awful because I'm like, now I'm using this and it's so much better. So
let's see, clay tabs. Okay, I'm not seeing any. Nav, she downloaded StreamYard today. I'll watch tutorials to learn before our 4/27 date. Nothing for you to learn. Yeah, nothing for you to learn. So I'll send you a link. You'll click the link, and it's all within your browser on a computer or your phone. Computer's better, and you'll come up, and it's real easy. Yeah. But if you have any questions, we're friends on Instagram. Don't hesitate to hit me up. I'll help you out with it all. Anything you need that way.
Yeah, the other thing that I always say with StreamYard is just make sure you're plugged into the internet. Because
Yes.
if you're going Wi-Fi, you may have some real problems with that. So
Yeah, even right next to the router.
yeah, I bought the Wi-Fi extender mesh kits, whatever you call them.
Yeah.
I got like the 4-pack, so I have one on that because my whole house is brick and solid concrete. So it just stops the Wi-Fi. Like there's nothing getting through it.
Yeah.
And the garage is the absolute worst place for the internet. And of course, I chose that to do my streams in. So I have it literally right here, and then it's just plugged right into my computer, and I get perfect internet out here now.
Yeah, I haven't seen. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you have any issues with streams. Well, maybe once.
I had that one when I tried to get over to Streamlabs from StreamYard, and I was like doing a transition in there, and I was still kind of figuring out Streamlabs, because Streamlabs is like, you got StreamYard and then you got Streamlabs, which is like everything you can imagine, little animations and transitions and all this stuff. And it just locked up my computer that day. And it was still live. I couldn't do anything. So I had to go start another stream, but then that stream was still going and I couldn't get back in because that whole browser broke. And I was like, oh, this is the worst. So that's when I was like, I'm just going back to StreamYard. It's just easier. It works better. It's just better.
My son uses Streamlabs, and he's a Twitch gamer streamer, and he's got very, very, very high end computers.
Yeah.
I don't really care about it anymore. I'm not a big gamer anymore. I use a console when I game, but I just have an old laptop, few old laptops. But
I just got
we do talk about.
a new PC for streaming. So
what other type of hobbies do you have? We didn't talk about that. Is there other things? I mean, you sound like you're a pretty busy guy. Do you even have time for other hobbies?
Yeah, I mean, before fish, my biggest other hobby was cars. I'm a big car guy.
Okay.
I've got a 1956 Chevy Bel Air 4-door wagon.
Wow.
That's been in the family since 1956. My great grandpa bought it off the lot, and I have the original receipt from the dealership. And it's just like the super cool. My grandparents, repainted it and put all of this stuff into it so I could drive it for my 16th birthday. And then I rebuilt the whole thing. And so it's awesome. It's my absolute dream car. And then I built another car and drove it all the way to Eugene.
Videos of that stuff at all?
I don't, because I did it all mostly in high school. So I was the auto shop president for 3 years in a row. So my sophomore, freshman, and senior year, I was the auto shop president, which is never really happens. You always are like the senior and then you're the president. And I was it the whole time, which is great. I loved it. So I ran that whole program with the teachers there, and it was awesome. But I didn't take any videos. I have a lot of really cool pictures.
Yeah.
But no videos from that.
Do you have any of that stuff up on Instagram or anything? Even today, if you want to, not obviously not right now, but I mean, if you have some video of that, I would love to see that car.
I've got it on my personal one, which is just, I think it's Peter Douse 1956 on Instagram. Okay. I've got the Guppy Guru one and then the Peter Douse one just separate, because I like to kind of keep it where my personal stuff is being posted somewhere else, because people don't want to see what I'm eating. They don't care. They want to see what my fish are eating. So I just try to keep it separate there. But yeah, there's pictures of all the cars I built. I built a 1965 Dodge Dart. I got for free, and then I restored the whole thing. And then I got in it with my cousin, and with my mom, and we drove from Utah all the way to Vancouver, Washington in it. So made it all the way there. Did great.
The one that was Swinger.
Yeah, it was the downgrade from the Swinger. So it was the 4-door.
Swinger.
Yeah, that's an awesome car. That is awesome.
My very first one was a '66 Plymouth Fury.
Oh,
it was my very first car. Thing was a boat. I have to say something though. Chevy Fish, she was lurking. She said Chevy had to come out of lurk mode for that. Always good to see you, Chevy Fish. And of course, Danikin. I don't know if I said hi to Danikin. I don't know. I'm assuming that's Kenny because he said Ford rocks.
Yeah, it's always Kenny. I drive a Ford F-150 as my daily driver. So, and then we have Ford F-350s for work and all that stuff too. So I'm a Ford guy, but when it comes to the classics, Chevy kicks their butt.
I don't care. We've had Chevys, Fords, Volkswagens. I mean, you name it. I don't care. I just pick whatever I feel like. Myrtle is asking if it's okay to post your personal Instagram.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Okay. I've got the whatchamacallits up, the little security thing, so I can approve people or deny them.
And Brienne said she emailed you to the email that's in your About tab.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, the guppyguru@gmail.com.
And there's Daniel Velez. He had a 65 Ford Mustang that my wife would be very jealous of. That's her favorite car. And a 74 Dodge Challenger. Nice.
Yeah.
Good man, Peter, Kenny says.
I love my F-150. I love my F-150. It's the 3.5 V6, and that thing tows better than our diesels do. So, awesome truck.
I've never been a car guy except when I was a kid, and I actually, on this arm, right here, I have a tattoo of my kind of cars, and those are Volkswagens. Nice. When I lived in Arizona, I had Bajas. So we would strip them down. The whole front end's fiberglass, super light, full roll cage, skid plate under the motor. Because with a Volkswagen, there's nothing exposed except for the motor itself. So when you put a skid plate under there, there's nothing at all exposed that can get hung up on anything. So you just go places the four-wheel drive's going to go.
Yeah, just bash through.
Plus they float. You could go right in the lake and just it float.
Yeah, the people's car. They built them right. That's for sure. They really did.
Funny. Even the pressure for the windshield wiper wash, so it was pressurized by the spare tire. So
really?
You had the spare tire, and there was a hose that came out of that and went into a canister that had your water or whatever you were using for the windshield wipers, and it pressurized it, and that's how you got the pressure.
That's so cool.
There's a lot of little things like that. I can almost smell it just thinking about it.
Yeah, my dad had one too, and he always told me stories about how the windshield wipers didn't work on his, and how the hood would always pop open.
Yeah.
So he was like, we'd be driving out. My dad's 6'6", like huge guy, big old football player. He's like, if you can imagine 2 6'6" football players who probably weighed 325 pounds, pure muscle, in a Volkswagen Bug with a hood that's popped up onto the windshield, and they're trying to get the hood back down, and then the windshield wipers aren't working, so they've got their hands out there wiping the windshield. So
there definitely weren't a commuting car. They're not even really a car. They're a hobby.
Yeah, I want a thing. If I'm ever going to get a Volkswagen, I'm going to get a Volkswagen thing. That is the one I've always wanted.
Yeah, I like those too. But the Safari van was the one that I always wanted with all the windows.
Yeah. The 27 window.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are like.
I had quite a few different Beetles. I had a Super Beetle. Let's say I had a 68, a 72. A 67, and I had one other one. I don't remember that one. I don't remember the year of that. I had 4 total, but my last one was actually a show bug. The rest, all the other ones were all Bajas. Yep.
Yeah, there's some cool cars. My dream car, though, of course, my car that I have now is my dream car. It's something I'll never give up, or it's a family heirloom thing forever. But if I were able to get just one car, it would be the 1940s Woody's wagon.
Oh. Yeah.
And it's incredible. They built the whole thing out of wood and some tiny bits of metal, and it's just gorgeous. It's every piece, the frame, all of it wood. It's just absolutely incredible.
Now, was Woody's the Ford, the brand?
Yeah, there's Ford, and there was a Chevrolet, and there was a Plymouth. I think there was 3 different types.
There was a Ford Woody, Chevy Woody.
Yeah. Okay. So they just call them Woody wagons because they have the It's kind of what the Wagoneer, the Jeep Wagoneer, was kind of designed off of, with the wood sides. Yeah. But they designed that off of the Woody's wagons back in the 40s.
Gotcha.
But super cool. When I go to my office, there's this really expensive car dealership car detailer right next to it. And they always have Lamborghinis and all this stuff that roll through there. And I saw Woody's in there the other day, and I was like, I was so excited, and it's the same color as my Chevy, and I pulled in and I had to see it. And I was like, and then the owner was there, and I got to talk to him for a little bit, and he's like, yeah, I had to send this to 4 states over and have this wood carver go through and hand redo the entire exterior of this car with hand hewn logs and stuff. And he got wood that was from the 40s, and it's like I was like, you spent way too much money, but you did an incredible job. So
that is a labor of love.
Oh yeah,
somebody. I mean, yeah, that's so far beyond. That's amazing. Now it's all car stuff.
all
Great.
cars. Yeah, Florida Fish Rescue though, he wants a gremlin, so apples and lemons right there.
Let's see. All right. Did we have any other questions? We're almost to 8 o'clock. And like I said, I didn't notice if the Fish Room Fever crowd is going to go live tonight.
Yeah, I didn't see it on my notifications.
Or if anybody else. I don't want to go. Well, we're getting close to 8 o'clock anyways. I think that's a good time. If nobody has anything else, we'll go ahead and shut her down. Peter, I can't thank you enough for coming up. This has been. I knew it was going to be fun, though. I knew it. You're just a very likable fellow.
Thank you.
I think that's a song, but 1980 Pacer.
Oh, that's
Thank you, Brianne. I have 400 subs.
Oh, you hit the 400? Heck yeah!
Thank you, guys. Wow, I didn't even know. I mean, I knew you guys were joking around about me shaving, but I didn't know we
401. 401. Heck yeah!
I wasn't even, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
So there we go. It hit milestones in all your streams.
Yeah, that's amazing. Swampy is in 9 minutes. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's good. Yeah, we'll go. And everybody should go over there and check out Swampy too. That's always a fun stream, and it's not always just fish people over there either. It's a lot of different people that come in, so it's interesting. The focus is on fish people, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah, I love when it's like it's just us. Like the community is just hilarious. There's a lot of hilarious people in this community, and it's really cool just to like get in and just talk with them and chat and hang out. So
and. So I've gotten this sounds bad, but I've gotten a lot of free stuff from the community, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying, oh, it's only cool because they gave me free stuff. It's just that these people have reached out to me. Sean from Peck Tech is sending me some plants. He just he's got awesome plants, and he just just out of the blue we were talking about it, and he goes, yeah, when I do my trimmings, I'll send you some nice plants.
Yep.
I just got a huge batch from Kelly Foreman. I didn't see her tonight. Kelly Foreman sent me this shoebox filled with just amazing plants, some nice big plants, just amazing. Because You're Fish, Seth from Because You're Fish.
And awesome guy. Yeah, local guy to me. So.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, he sent me some pea puffers. Again, he saw that I liked the pea puffers, and he just sent me some. And they're amazing. They're in the tank up here, and they're. I was watching them today as they ate the brine shrimp. They really liked the brine shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
At first, they were a little iffy, it seemed like. They love the bloodworms, but man, they went crazy. But just all the stuff, people, and again, it makes it sound like, hey, I'm just happy because I got free shit. Mm-hmm. No, that's not it. It's just the fact that people reach out to you and offer these types of things.
Yeah.
I use that phrase, goodness of your heart, but that's all it is. They're not looking for shout outs. They're not looking for they're not looking for anything other than just to share the love. And I just think that's amazing.
Yeah, there's no ulterior motives with this community. It's really, it's actually a community. And I think that's what's really lacking in the internet world, is the community aspect. And Fish Fam is definitely a good community. So
I agree with you 100%. That, again, I've been doing this such a short amount of time. I made my very first live stream halfway through December, and I had like 70 people in there. I was like, wow, why are you guys here? I was just doing a test. And
yeah, you made an impact. I mean, I think I was there too, because I was like, oh yeah, Rico, yeah. Like it's just weird. You made an impact. You're in everyone's streams. You're excited to be there. You interact with people, and that's really. I mean, people will do the same. So,
well. Thanks again for being up here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
everybody in the chat now too. Yeah, look at that. 54 in the stream, 54 likes. Actually, I'm seeing 53 and 57. That's just amazing.
Oh, even better.
So we will shut her down. And again, everybody go over there to now. Vinny is at Win. Let's see. I just want to, before we go, Vinny is at 9:30 and Swampy is at 9. So we do have some overlap there, it looks like. So, and unfortunately, we don't get to see the Fish Room Fever guys. Unless that's members only tonight. I talked about maybe doing that, but I don't know if they were going to be able to because they were going to be on the road.
Yeah, I didn't get one, and I'm pretty sure I'm a member of Fish Room Fevers, so I didn't get one. So I would say no on that probably.
And real quick, are you planning on having memberships come back in the future?
Yeah, I am planning on it. I just didn't want to have people pay for something that they weren't getting something from. That's just not how I operate. And so I was like, I'm just going to get rid of it until I know I can come back and give you guys what you deserve from that, because you're supporting what I do, and I want to support you guys in every way I possibly can too. So
well, I look forward to it. Anything else that you got? Anything coming up you want to talk about or plug or anything like that? Or
no, I mean, I just love this community, and thank you for having me on, and thank you everyone in the chat and all the love that's always here in the community. And it means a lot that, no matter who it is, you can go live and you can just have positive interactions every day. So
awesome. Oh, and I was looking at the time wrong. Vinny is 9:30 and Swampy is at 8. So there's no overlap. Mike pointed that out. So thanks,
perfect.
Mike. All right, guys, we're gonna close it up. Thanks everybody. I appreciate the hell out of every single one of you, except for Patty. She knows I'm joking. She's awesome. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you. Oh, again, Tuesday night we have Well Done Tanks will be in the house. Monday night, actually, Chattanooga at night. Then Tuesday night will be Well Done, and Well Done. And next week we get to have Lav. So that'll be awesome. So, and I believe that'll be the first time she's shown her face on a video.
I think she did it on Instagram, but yeah, I think on YouTube it'll be the first time. So
nice.
She's an awesome person. You'll absolutely love her.
I know.
I've had incredible phone calls with her, and we text probably twice a week, and she's really a good person. So
she's been great about the all the snail information stuff she's given me on Instagram. I bug her, and she's just been awesome. And I sort of put some pressure on her because I made her pick out my snails, whatever color. And she doesn't like to do that because she doesn't know what people like. So
we had a guy come into the shop the other day, and he's like, "Do you have any of these?" And I'm like, "No, but you can buy them from Lav." And he's like, "Who's Lav?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, let me teach you." So I pulled it up on the iPad in the shop and showed them, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can buy all this stuff from the community." I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Why are you showing me this? You could be selling me this." I'm like, well, it's what we do. So they're like, "Oh my gosh." And so I think they went home that night and bought some purple snails. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Oh, and I keep saying I'm gonna end. But then Riddle said the Lab has a video on YouTube where she was on camera. Oh. I must have missed that one, or I've forgotten. I forget stuff. I forget things. I'm an old man, so don't be mean to me.
I'm an old man too. I'm just in a
younger body. You're not an old man. You're a whippersnapper.
Hey, I'm gray haired already.
Yeah, so much I could tell. All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here, everybody.